Hey. Let me just scoot over this way a little bit. Have a little technical difficulties here. Just a second. Um, I wish you could remember your password. Oh well. Hey, I'm going to show our Jason Ilkaneer. Let's talk about who all's here so far. So we got Chris at Gulf Coast ACR Scrapper.
Hey, Chris.
Commander Bacon 64 was in here. Lori at LG Homestead. Lori and Greg. Um, let's see. Dean Family Acres. Matt, good to see you. And Jason at Il Canerum. So what day is it? It's Friday. It's Freeze Dry Friday. So we had some interest in it. And let me do this real quick. We're going to play a, hey, Henry Leslie Vermont, how are you? Going to play our members commercial while we hopefully get one thing straightened out here real quick. So stay tuned. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
we're still having technical difficulties.
We're still working on it. It's that one. Should have had that one. So type that in.
Oh.
So we've got it set up where I've got one computer running the screen right in front of us. That's running StreamYard. And then I've got my laptop with the screen open running YouTube so I can see all the good stuff. There's Jake at Nunya, Texas. And we're trying to get this other computer set up with a screen for Shelly to be able to comment if she needs to. So
I have to get there.
There we go. Just click on that one. Should be able to do it.
Is it going to play the sounds? No, so we're good.
I would mute it anyway.
Here?
Yep. There we go.
Right.
Yay. Okay, cool. There's Elders Homestead. They're new to us, and it's good to have new folks.
Welcome.
So
they're on their treadmill.
So we got some folks here that are members of His Way Homestead. They have the looks like a little plate with a couple slices of bacon on it. It's kind of like this logo. Added some new.
I think you're muted.
I'm muted. Oh, shouldn't be. Can you hear me? Oh, come on now. Shouldn't be.
Is it because I muted this one?
No, because it's different computers. It's showing that it's picking it up.
Oh, I say I hear you. So
okay.
It must be them.
Okay, so turn your volume up, Matt. But the members, check out, there's 2 new emojis out there. Well, different emojis that I tried out. And tell me which one you like, and we'll see how that goes. So it's hard to look at all these different screens. We got 3 different screens to look at.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. We're good. Okay, good deal. Let's see. Trying to look. Henry Leslie Vermont.
And there's Mary.
Mary Ranch. She's showing the hats off. I got it on the night vision or night setup, and it's really hard to see those hats with the night setup.
Roll Tide, Chris.
Roll Tide. Susie Jacobson is in here. Good to have you.
I saw Chris said earlier that it's gonna be cold there tonight.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be 40. I mean, come on.
It's cold here.
It's cold here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to type and jog at the same time.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Makes it difficult. I actually didn't work out today. I've been working out 5 or 6 days a week.
Yeah, she's doing really good.
I missed it today, so I got to make up tomorrow.
Let me show you my shirt real quick. There you go. This guy. This guy. I'm going to take this off because it's a little warm in here. So yeah, we Well, knock something over. Nothing new here. So we were on. I was on Sandy's live the other day, and we were talking about freeze drying, and I guess it was her Monday night one. And there's a lot of interest about freeze drying, so I thought we would just have a live stream, share some of our experiences and stuff like that. 28, you guys are going to be freezing.
And then 78. Oh,
yeah.
I want it to be 78.
So yeah, that's tough.
Dean Family Acres got it fixed.
Oh, yay. Good. I'm glad you can hear us now. Well, what we ought to do is just. We can't.
Jason said he's interested. I guess he's interested in this. I wasn't.
Yeah. So
paying attention.
Yeah. So that, first off, freeze dryers are pretty expensive piece of machinery.
Yeah.
It's a major investment.
It's a little more than a dehydrator.
A lot more than a dehydrator. You can get a dehydrator for $50, and typically entry level freeze dryer is going to run you $2,000 or $3,000.
Yes, so, we can talk about filtering.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Do that.
The reason why my beautiful bride is here is she is the freeze dryer expert. I'm just a guy that talks a lot. So so that's why. And I thought maybe we could even do like I could ask you questions about it and stuff like that. And that might be a good way to do it.
And we can take you inside and show you some of the stuff in there if you're interested.
Yeah.
Show you the freeze dryer, show you some stuff that we freeze dried. So
yeah, so it should be a pretty cool night. If you have any questions, type it in all capital letters so that I see that it's a question that you're gearing toward me, and I don't get all confused with you guys talking.
Jason said he did some vacuum canning today.
Oh, that's cool. Come on, homesteading is in here. Come on with you. Come on. That's right. So we have freeze-dried rabbit. We have freeze-dried rabbit. We have
freeze-dried rabbit in there.
We've freeze-dried a bunch of different meats. Let's see. She's beautiful, and that makes my ratings go way up.
I'm not on Fitbit. I have an Apple Watch.
Well, that's right, Henry, because I'm hard of hearing.
Well, let's start by saying that our freeze dryer is considered older now.
Yeah.
We've had it 5 years, 6 years?
Probably something like that. You would know better than I would.
I'm not sure. We've had it 5 or 6 years, I guess, but they have much newer models now that are different. And honestly, I'm glad we have the older model, because we can change things manually.
Where some of the new programming on the newer models,
the newer ones you can't. So ours, we have more control over. Now they do have, what is it? The vacuum pumps that are oilless now.
Yeah.
Ours takes oil.
But there's oilless ones. They're pretty expensive.
Yeah, that adds another layer of expense because it is an option. But a lot of people love it. So we do have the older model. We do have the oil that we have to change, and I can show you how we filter it. Yeah,
and we don't buy our oil from Harvest, right?
No, Nadia wants to see product.
See product. You mean see the freeze dryer or see freeze dried food?
Yeah.
What do you like the best using the equipment?
Because I just want y'all to know that it means I have to go back out in the cold into the house, which I have to do anyway. I just won't come back out here. I'll stay in there. I want to know how many teeth you cracked testing that candy. All right, Jake wants to see freeze-dried food. Okay.
We'll get to that.
Mary wants to know, what do you like the best using that equipment?
The best. We've got a lot of favorites. So that we've got favorites as far as candy, favorites as far as vegetables, favorites as far as fruit.
But I think she means about using it. The best thing about using it.
Oh. What did you drop?
I'm playing with a bread tie and I dropped it.
I was afraid it was your ring or something. You just took a ring off and threw it down.
No.
Pray for us.
About using the freeze dryer, number one, you can put it in there and leave it for a couple of days. But I like the fact that you retain a lot of the nutrients that are in the food, and it lasts longer. Most of it can last. Well, I won't say most of it. A lot of it can last up to 25 years if stored properly.
Yeah.
So those are the things I like about it.
Yeah.
We have the option of storing in glass jars or in Mylar bags. So if you're only preserving food by canning, everything's in a canning jar, right? So we can store in Mylar bags, and that cuts down on storage just a little bit. So those are some of the.
Oh, Run Forge. You're
Hey,
appreciated by Barf.
guys.
Thank you so
Well,
much for that
thank
super
you.
chat. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
Let's see some foods.
Jake said, have you figured out cost per serving or operation?
No.
Now, what typically, how long does it take to freeze dry something? Let's talk about. We've got tons of eggs right now, so we've
Yes.
been freeze drying eggs.
Yeah. I would say eggs take about a day and a half to freeze dry.
It's not a fast process.
No. If you're doing something that doesn't have a lot of moisture in it, I'm trying to think of an example. Almost everything I do seems to take forever. If I go grab kale out of the garden and I do a batch of kale, if I put it in at noon, it's probably going to be done the next morning.
We've gone global.
Well, hello, Philippines.
Hey, Ferdy Rayala.
Hello.
From the Philippines. Good to have you.
Very cool.
This morning there. It's evening here.
Yeah, it is. Jake wants to know what's proper storage. Storage is either going to be, again, in mason jars or Mylar bags, and we're still going to keep it in a temperature regulated area. So we're not going to put it in the attic.
Yeah.
How much food can you do at once? We can do up to
pounds. It depends on what the product is, right? So
yeah, but I think it's 2.5 pounds per tray, and we have 4 trays.
Yeah, but it depends. I mean, if it's milk or eggs or meat,
yeah,
it'll weigh different.
Yeah, but they're asking in pounds.
Yeah, the trays are kind of shallow,
Mm-hmm.
And there's 4 trays to the medium size one, and we'll show you that later. The size of the trays, they're kind of shallow.
But you can do, I think, 2.5 pounds per tray.
Yeah.
And, that's going to vary by the food. We can do 1 gallon of milk at a time.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about the difference between freeze drying and dehydrating as far as the end product goes. To me, some things are not good freeze dried. Like jerky. If you're making jerky, you really need to do it in a dehydrator because there is an element of heat that helps cook it. Mm-hmm. You don't have that with the freeze dryer.
Right.
So if it's raw meat, it's going to stay raw meat until you rehydrate it and cook it.
Yeah.
So there are times when dehydrator is better, and there's times when the freeze dryer is better.
Right. And you absolutely can freeze dry raw meat. You just have to know market that it is raw meat.
Yeah. You couldn't just eat it straight out of the jar.
You could, but that'd be gross.
It'd be nasty. It would reconstitute as raw meat. You'd be eating raw meat. That's gross.
Yeah.
So no, Jake, to answer your question, doesn't have to be cooked.
No. How thick is like lasagna? Again, it's gonna you can't go over the edges of our trays, which are not.
Yeah.
They're
the
not.
Tray's about.
It's not even an inch tall. It might be a
half inch.
It might
half
be
inch or a little more.
Yeah.
But you're also limited to how far. I mean, if it's something solid,
well,
how far up to the bottom of the other, but you still.
Yeah, but you really don't want to go over the top of the tray. So if I was doing lasagna, I would cut it and lay it lengthwise, or just take my layers apart and do it that way.
Yeah. How are the eggs? Eggs are really good in it. We reconstituted some of them and cooked them.
Mm-hmm.
So we freeze dry eggs raw. She'll scramble them and pour them into the trays. It's actually right there at the freeze dryer.
Because I don't want to carry. I don't want to fill the trays and then walk them to the next room because I'll just spill it everywhere.
Let's see. To pound reference, I meant with the lasagna to liquid form. I'm not.
I don't understand.
Not sure what you mean about liquid form.
Hey, Lori Carp.
Can you leave trays out for thick stuff? You have to do it in the trays. There's no other way. Lori Carp.
Yeah.
Troy, I hope you're feeling better.
Yes.
Appreciate you coming in.
Jason up here had a question.
Well, I missed that. Where
it was right below the one you clicked. I think it scrolled up on us.
Okay. There you go.
There you go.
What do you have to do to prep before you freeze dry? It depends on the product.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, the eggs, we scramble them and they're raw. But once we reconstituted it and cooked it, I couldn't tell any difference between fresh eggs and the freeze dried eggs. There's no difference at all.
So I very rarely cook food just to freeze dry.
Yeah.
If we have a lot of leftovers, I can put them into freeze dry. If I do a ton of bone broth or soup or something like that, I can put those into freeze dry. Basically, there's not prep work. You're either cooking the food or you're not cooking it.
Yeah.
And some people pre-freeze. They put the stuff in the tray and they pre-freeze it.
Like eggs. We know people that they actually have racks that they built for in their freezer and they put the trays in there and pre-freeze it.
And if we had room, we would probably do that, but we don't have room in our freezer. So if it's something that's really liquidy, like eggs or milk, I can manually extend the freeze time on our freeze dryer to cover that.
Oh, okay. So she's saying that as far as pounds go, the height of the lasagna is more important than but with a gallon of milk, you only have about a 1/4 inch of height. So yeah, that makes sense. So the Elders Homestead, they have a freeze dryer.
Okay.
But what I was getting at too, the difference with freeze dried food and dehydrated food. Say let's say if you do a fruit like bananas or apples, you can do them in either one. The dehydrator seems to mute the flavors a little bit.
And they're a little rubbery.
Texture's a little different. The freeze dryer concentrates the flavors because it takes all the moisture out and none of the flavor goes out with the moisture. Dehydrator, some of the flavors go out with the moisture.
And they're crispy.
Yeah, and it's like a crispy styrofoam.
Yeah.
A lot of the texture is like a crispy styrofoam.
Yeah.
But one thing you have to keep in mind, there have been reports of people that have eaten too much freeze-dried stuff without drinking enough, and it'll suck all the moisture out of your guts.
So they're eating it not reconstituted, just in the freeze-dried form.
Like fruit or apples or whatever. It's easy to snack on that, right?
Yeah.
You got to drink a lot of water with it, or you're gonna hurt yourself. People have had to go to the emergency room and have had emergency surgery because they had a total brick blockage because it sucked all the moisture out.
So Jake says he's always wanted one, but hear good and bad. We also hear good and bad. I'm on a couple of freeze dryer pages, and
that here. Let's show this.
It's kind of.
I thought I had it.
It's kind of like anything else. Like right now, we're looking for a car, and I was just reading the reviews on a car, and they're good and bad. I guess it just depends on what you get.
Let me share this with you. This is really good. There we go. This is.
You have a private message up there.
Where?
On your.
Oh, how did that happen? There we go. Sorry about that. All right. So let me take that off. This is. We have learned a lot from this group. There's a lot of people on there with freeze dryers, and they show they show the good, bad, and the ugly. Things that worked for them, things that didn't. Some of them, like if you freeze dry, some fun stuff like ice cream sandwiches. Certain brands do horrible, and other brands do great.
Yeah.
When I say horrible, what are we talking about? Well, the ice cream sandwich will like just explode.
It
It
foams up and it gums up your the
Mm.
inside of your machine,
makes a terrible mess.
which I can show y'all the inside of the machine. The one thing Jake said, complicated. I don't think it's complicated at all. Now, our neighbors have a freeze dryer, and he can tell you everything scientific about the hot house, the whys, the pressure, why it does what it does, what pressure it should be at, the temperature it should be at, and he's very scientific about it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I push the button and I can adjust again. I can adjust the freeze time. I can extend the final freeze drying session, and I can finish it whenever I open it up. I can tell if it's done or it's not, and if it's not, I put it back in. So I don't care about how it works or why it works or the science behind it. It's not complicated. I can put it in. I can do it. I can change the oil, filter it, and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
once you
I think it's as complicated as you make it.
Yeah. There's definitely a process.
Yeah.
That
there is a learning curve for sure.
As far as maintenance goes, it's not too bad if you use a good oil.
Yeah.
You have to clean out the pump every so often. So Jake, let's see. Here it is. So you add water back to all the freeze dried. No, you don't have to.
No.
You can just eat it freeze dried, but you need to drink water with it to be safe, to not hurt yourself.
Yeah. Like we have fruits, we have apples, bananas, all that good stuff.
Like Skittles, I probably wouldn't be worried about drinking
we
stuff.
have candies, that you guys have won.
We've done meat. We've done pork tenderloin.
Yeah.
And that is amazing because you put it in your mouth and start chewing it up. And at first the texture is really weird.
And then it tastes
and then it's a pork chop.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's really good.
We have like okra pods that are super crispy and they're really good. So some things you rehydrate and other things you don't.
I think we got someone else from around the world.
Hello.
Hobby Cube. Business Cube.
I'll let you pronounce that.
I hope I didn't mess that up.
Jake, ours is a Harvest Right.
Yeah, Harvest Right.
I think they are the only home freeze dryer company right now.
Yeah.
There is another one that's in development right now, but it hasn't hit the market.
Yeah. So yeah. But it's really good. We've done stew. Our neighbor across the street, they've done biscuits and gravy.
Mm-hmm. And it was good.
It was really good.
We went on a women's wilderness survival weekend thing, and my neighbor went with us, and it got cold overnight, and she was the only one that had a hot breakfast, and luckily she brought enough for all of us. So that biscuits and gravy was good out in the woods.
Yeah. Stew is really good. So if you're want to go on a backpacking trip, right? Weight is a concern. And I think freeze drying all started with NASA, right? They, as light as possible, they wanted to get all the moisture out of food for the astronauts to take with them. Hey, there's Weekend RVing. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Yeah. So
see, you can do all kinds of cool stuff with it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just do fun stuff,
hey,
right?
Charles,
good to see you.
Yeah, we have Skittles and we have marshmallows. We've done Werther's.
Werther's really good.
Oh,
yeah,
really good.
So if you're backpacking, you want light food, easy to deal with, and you could eat it without reconstituting it. Some of the fun stuff we've done too is pizza, frozen pizza, baked it first.
Cheap, the dollar cheap pizzas.
Yeah, cheap pizza. But man, the flavor is unbelievable.
It's like eating a pizza chip.
Yeah.
Really good.
So that, all you'd have to worry about on a backpacking trip is water, drinking water.
Turn the heat off?
Yeah. You want it on?
Yeah, I'm cold. He had it all nice and warm for me out here whenever I got here.
So yeah, it's really good stuff. Can you all hear the fan blowing?
If it's too loud, I'll go in the house and show you all the stuff anyway.
But if you if some of the food, fat content is something to be concerned about.
Yeah.
The more fat content, you can freeze dry it, but it probably will not reach the maximum 25-year shelf life.
It just has a shorter shelf life.
You just have to be aware of that.
Like one thing that is great to do is shredded cheese. So when cheese goes on sale, I buy it already shredded if I know I'm going to do it for freeze dry. So that has a fat content, but it freeze dries great, and all you have to do is throw it in your recipe or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
It looks just like cheese in the jar, tastes just like cheese. And you don't hear anything? Okay, good. They don't hear the blower.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of the Facebook group, right? You can go on there. They can give you ideas of things that work really good for them. Like watermelon's supposed to be really good freeze dried. I've never had it. We never tried it. Pineapple is really
Pineapple's
good.
Amazing.
Yeah, we don't do pineapple
because we eat pineapple.
There's no point. That's something that if you know you're going to snack on it, put it in a jar.
Yeah.
Right. Don't waste a Mylar bag. The Mylar bags can be a little bit expensive.
Yeah. And so you need oxygen absorbers.
Yeah. Not desiccants.
No.
Oxygen absorbers.
Oxygen absorbers.
There's a difference.
You need the Mylar bags, and you need canning jars.
And you need
with lids.
You need
and
a
rings.
Vacuum sealer.
Yeah.
To seal the Mylar. Or there's different ways to seal it.
I seal our Mylar bags with my hair straightener. It works best. I have one of those sealers that you just push down and it seals the Mylar, and I didn't like it as well, so I sold it and I just used my hair straightener. It works great.
They thought watermelon was disgusting. We've never tried it.
I haven't done it, but everybody on that page just raves about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big watermelon eater anyway.
Yeah.
And I would think that would just really make my trays messy.
I mean, that's part of the joy of eating watermelon is the juiciness of it.
The only time I want to eat it is when it's hot outside and the watermelon's cold and I can eat the heart of the watermelon. And I don't want anything else.
Jake says he's going to go out and buy one.
All right.
I would think it would be something that you would be interested in, and it's really not that bad. And maybe we could do a video of draining the oil, filtering it, putting it back in, and then a video of doing the cleaning out the pump. It's really not that bad.
Yeah, I think we've done some.
Yeah, and I need to. Our neighbor put together a filter thing because out of the back of the pump, you'll get some blow by of the oil, so you have to filter that, or it'll make a mess. It can kind of spray. But he made a filter jar and everything, so you can actually
reuse
capture that and not waste it. So we haven't done that yet. We just have like an old sock, and it keeps it from making a mess.
Yeah. So Jake, you can put it in a jar and vacuum seal it, or you can put it in Mylar.
Yeah.
So either one.
Either one.
Yeah, and I have both. I don't have a whole lot of Mylar bags. I don't know if I have any in there that I can show you because I'm in the process of cleaning up that room, and we keep the Mylar storage somewhere else.
I think the Mylar bags are much thicker than those emergency blankets.
They are.
I don't think that would work.
I usually use the 7 mil Mylar bags. They come in 3, 5, 7, and I think even thicker. Yeah. But I've told y'all before, I'm a bargain shopper. I don't like spending a ton of money, but I do spend the money for the 7 mil Mylar because I figure if we've got the money in the machine, we've got the money in the food, and I spent 2 to 3 days freeze drying it, I don't want it to ruin because I put it in a cheap Mylar bag.
Yeah. Yeah. So, don't cheap out on that.
Yeah. That's my logic on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Jars are fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I can show you the jars inside.
Yeah. And we even have some Mylar bags that have like the Ziploc.
Yeah.
So it's something that you can pop it open, eat some of it, seal it back up.
And if we do a giveaway and you win marshmallows or Skittles or something from us, they're in a small Mylar bag that has the clear front and it's the zipper, like Ziploc top. Those are not for long-term storage.
No.
In fact, we don't even put an oxygen absorber in there because those are to be used quickly.
I'm not sure.
Our neighbor could answer that question because he's also on solar.
It's probably in the owner's manual. I think the freeze dryer itself doesn't use it that much, but when the pump kicks on for the first time, I think that's a big draw. Just like your compressor on a refrigerator, it's about the size of a small dorm fridge, basically.
Go down to Mary.
Do we use it all the time?
No, we don't. There are times when I use it consistently.
A lot. Yeah.
I'll get a batch out and put another batch in and just keep it going constantly. But it does heat up the room some. That's one of the things that you have to consider. There's a noise factor, and we do have it inside our house, and it heats up the room. So I use it in the summer because all my garden stuff comes in during the summer.
Yeah.
But I don't use it as much. And so I'm using it more during the fall and winter. It's kind of like pressure canning. You know, all your garden stuff comes in and you have to pressure can it and heat up the house, and you hate to do that. So you can freeze some of it and save it to winter to pressure can.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. We do use it enough that I feel like it's worth the cost of it. We've certainly been able to store a lot of.
We've got our money's worth out of it.
Yeah, we've
for sure.
been able to store a lot of food, and it's one of those things too where your food doesn't go to waste. If you're sick of eating it, go freeze dry it, and you can save it for later.
But it's on a standard wall outlet. It's 110, so it's either like a 15 or 20 amp circuit. So it's not that bad.
Go eat those Skittles, Jake.
Yeah, go. You need to try them.
Go eat them.
So I don't think it draws that much current. You might not have a big deal with it. So I don't know. Any other questions? But some of the things that we really liked, corn, kernels of corn is like unbelievable.
It's like sugary sweet.
It is so good.
Corn, green beans,
and it's like a little puff of nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that
it's those things that have natural sugar in them.
Mm-hmm.
It just pulls all that sugar into the flavor.
So a lot of times, like if you do like banana slices in the dehydrator, it's kind of like it's kind of soggy cardboard, kind of tastes a little bit like bananas. But in the freeze dryer, it tastes more like a banana than a banana does because the flavors are concentrated, and it's so much better. Have you ever had anything not work right or go bad?
Absolutely.
We've had some things go bad or not work right.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm cleaning out the room that all of my, it used to be our homeschool room. Then we moved the freeze dryer in there, and it's just evolved. It's my sewing room, has all kinds of junk in it.
It's our library.
Yeah, sure.
Without books.
It doesn't have books in it, but it's got all of our canned stuff on one side. So I'm cleaning all that out, and in the process, I'm organizing all my freeze-dried stuff that's in jars. And so I can shake them, and if they shake and I can hear them, they're fine.
Hey, Lori and Greg.
If they don't shake or if there's no sound, that means that moisture is in it. So I had a real issue with squash and zucchini. Whenever you get it out of the freeze dryer, I go through and feel each layer. You don't want to feel any dampness or any ice or anything like that. Yeah. If you do, you have to put it back in. But I had several batches of squash and zucchini that I freeze dried. They felt dry. They were crisped. No ice or no cold spots. And then after I put them up, I came back and they were limp. And so they had to be thrown out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have had some issues. And I think there's always going to be some things.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like anything.
But I think that's really the only thing I can think of we had a major problem with.
Have you done cream of corn? We
I've
have
not. No.
So, and here's the thing too: you could go to a dented can sale, right, and get corn, kerneled corn, and do that. So if you catch a really good sale, man, bring it home, freeze dry the stew out of it.
Yep. But I did notice today
see.
that I missed that.
It wasn't anything.
Oh.
It was just a troll.
Yeah. I did notice today that in our markdown section of Kroger, the price of the canned goods has gone up on the clearance. Have you ever done spaghetti squash? I don't think so. Mainly because it's just not one of our favorite foods.
Yeah, but much of the fruit is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Apples, strawberries, bananas,
and the veggies are good.
The veggies are good too. What are some of the vegetables that we've done? Well,
again,
corn.
You have green beans, corn, almost anything from my garden. Now, I will say that tomatoes are really difficult because some tomatoes have a higher sugar content and they will foam up. So you'll have a layer of tomatoes and you'll have this white foam on top and it will just get sticky. I've had some tomatoes do good. I've had some that just really didn't work out at all. So yes, it is a matter of removing all moisture.
So since you asked that, I did a quick little Google search. Freeze dryers work by freezing the material, then reducing the pressure. So you got a vacuum pump, reducing the pressure and adding heat to allow the frozen water in the material to change directly from frozen to vapor. So that's what happens. So it takes it into a freeze cycle. It freezes all the moisture in it. And then the vacuum pump kicks in, it draws a vacuum, and then it's got heating elements underneath the trays, and it heats it up, and it goes from frozen ice in the material to vapor, and then it'll collect on the side walls of the freeze dryer, and that's how it works.
Yeah, that's all this. All right, I'm hot now. That's all the stuff that I don't care about. But what is interesting is whenever you go to get the trays out, whenever your cycle is finished, your trays will be hot to where sometimes they'll like burn your hand hot and you have ice all around the interior of the thing. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Lori had the Skittles down in Pryor.
Yep.
They are good. Skittles. It's different. And that's one that I don't think you would eat enough to cause you problems without drinking.
Well, I hope you don't eat the whole thing of them.
But if you ate like one whole apple without drinking, you would have stomach problems.
Yeah.
So the trays get hot. Yep, they get not hot.
They do get hot.
I mean, not like you couldn't hold them.
There have been times where they are so hot that you need like a pot holder.
See, that's why I brought her. I don't do it that much. Dry. At the very most, I help taking it out of the trays.
Yeah, every now and then he'll help me store the stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really cool. It's space age stuff. We're doing stuff for the most part, it will last 20, 25 years. Most of the stuff. Yeah, Mary said the marshmallows are really good too.
Yeah, I like the marshmallows.
Yeah, the marshmallows are like
all right, Jason's leaving us.
Lucky Charms. All right, Jason.
See you, Jason.
Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate you. Ask the operator. It's hot. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Do you want me to go in, or do you want to do another one where we go and do that?
No. Oh, we can go. How long have we been doing this? 41 minutes.
40 minutes.
New Horizons. How you doing? Good to see you. Polar feel in Pigeon Forge. Yeah, I bet it is cold there. Heating, vaporizing, vacuuming, freezing. It's space age. It is. I mean, it's really cool that we can make our own freeze dried.
See you, Henry Leslie.
You could easily do a stew, and we've done that before. We've done like chicken pot pie, haven't we?
Not chicken pot pie, but I've got all kinds of stews in there.
Yeah, and all you do is add some water, heat it up. I mean, it's amazing, and you wouldn't, like I said, you can just eat it as is, and all the flavor is right there. So it's amazing. All right, Henry. Thank you so much for dropping by.
All right. Do you want me to go in?
Yep. Jake is jelly.
We have jelly too, but we don't freeze dry.
I don't know how that wouldn't. I don't think that would do too good.
There's too much sugar.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. Sugar is hard. You really have to watch the sugar content of some things.
Sugar and fat.
Sugar and fat. Like you can't do chocolate, which
Yeah.
is sad.
Yeah. Yeah, because we did some. What was it? What was that candy? It was chocolate covered. It was
Chocolate covered caramel.
Milk Duds.
Yeah.
Milk Duds. We did Milk Duds, and they kind of did just like the Werthers, where they formed a nice little ball, but it was like a cracked chocolate coating, and the chocolate never really dehydrated or freeze dried. It was still kind of sticky, nasty chocolate, and it didn't last long. But that kind of stuff,
layer up to go out in the winter.
that kind of stuff doesn't last long, right?
Yeah.
So she's going to go in there. I already sent her a link for her phone. She's going to go in, and we'll, as soon as she's on there, we'll split the screen and go through that. I'll probably make her screen bigger because she's going to have the stuff that you guys are going to want to see. So in the meantime, no specific questions because the expert has left the building. But it is pretty cool. It's a neat thing to do if you have the money and the inclination to do it. It is pretty good. And now it's cold in here because she opened up the door, so I'm turning the heater back on. Let's see. So yeah, we can stack up some questions if you want to. Now I got too many screens. I don't need all these screens, so I'm gonna turn this one off. Well, I might leave it on there because that way Commander Bacon is in here. So there we go. Commander Bacon's in the house. So it's pretty neat. You definitely, it was a good investment for us. It was worth doing, I think. There's Evan's Family Adventures. How are you? Hopefully we'll stay warm. How many times can you filter the oil? I'll let her answer that because we filter it a good bit. Here we go. Let's bring her in. She's walking around. It's dark in there. I'm going to let's see if I can make her bigger. I don't know how to make it. There. And then she dropped off.
I have to figure out how to turn the camera around.
Yeah, I got to turn my volume up a little bit. I can't hear you.
So how do I turn my camera?
You have to have it set right to begin with. So why don't you drop out and come back in?
All right.
That's the only way to do it. All right, we'll get there. Hang in there. This is pretty cool. How much oil does it take? It's about, I think it's, I don't know, a little over a quart. I think it's about a quart. She'll show you here in a little bit. So hang in there, Jake. We'll answer all your questions. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Let's see. Let's see if I can. I want hers to be big. There we go. You're still vertical. There you go.
That better?
Yeah, that looks good.
Trying to get a little more light.
So Jake has asked, how many times can you filter the oil?
You can filter it until it really smells or it gets thick. I mean, we've used the same gallon of oil for almost 2 years.
Yeah, so there you go.
And even there, the quality of it really didn't deteriorate. I just thought it was time.
But you need a good quality oil.
Right.
In order to be able to do that.
And we use Dairyland. Look.
There's the kitties.
That's what I'm tripping over.
And Jake also asked, how much oil does it take? It's about a quart, isn't it?
No, it's
Because you had a quart bottle that we would fill it
right.
up with.
We have a quart bottle, but it might take a fourth of that quart. Or
Oh, okay.
this is the oil that we use. This is our vacuum pump. The tube that goes down here. So when the batch is over, I'll drain the oil into here. And then this oil goes to the freezer. And that separates, it freezes out any water that's in it. And then whenever it's frozen, I bring it in here into this pitcher. And that filters out any debris or anything that's in there that shouldn't be.
Explain the filtering mechanism in that.
The filter is...
And this is a common practice. And this is stuff that you learn through other folks that do it.
The filter is toilet paper.
It's toilet paper.
Yeah.
So you take the cardboard tube out of it and compress it and then shove it down in there, and it'll capture a lot of the water. So what you're trying to do is get the water out of the oil.
So these are our 4 trays. So you can see how deep they are. And so once they're full, they go in here. And whenever it's done, this drum will be covered in ice. And we have a drain over here.
So the sides of it will look like a freezer that needs defrosted.
Yeah.
And it actually goes through a defrost process.
It will defrost and the water will drain out of there and down into this bucket.
Yep.
Let's see if I can get that to show up. So that's the begin screen. And we can customize our setting. But let me show you some of the things over here. I got to move the cats out of the way. So this is strawberry powder. We have strawberries, apples, onions, cheese, that's zucchini, mushrooms, and green beans. Now this, I've got taco soup. This is a rabbit rice casserole, chorizo chili, chicken curry, homemade soup, barbecued rabbit. Let's see what all we have.
So Jennifer said, wow, this is the messy underbelly of the freeze dryer I haven't seen yet. as far as the oil and filtering it and stuff.
Yeah. This is rabbit meat. And the lighting in here is kind of rough. That's the pork loin that Doug was telling y'all about.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
And this is pork loin strips. But we even...
So we fried it. We fried the pork. Well, when I say we, anytime I say we, I mean Shelly.
Yeah.
So she fried it and then cut it up into strips. It was almost like French fry size in a way.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
This is deli meat. This is deli ham.
Yeah. So what you do with that, you just roll it up and put it in the trays.
Yep. Sorry, I gotta move the ladder. Now this is dehydrated squash, and it is the patty pan squash. Beside it is freeze-dried yellow squash. So you can even see tell the difference in the color.
Yeah, because patty pan is typically white, the ones that we had.
Yeah.
And that's definitely brown.
Definitely. So we have okra. This is kale.
Marion says, what a nicely organized shelf you have.
Isn't it there?
Hey, Rodney Middleton, how you doing?
Marion came over and helped me.
Yeah.
So this is cabbage, more kale. This is cauliflower. And then we have corn. Let's see. This is mashed potatoes.
And it's pretty light and flaky, isn't it? Mashed potatoes.
Yeah, down there I have jellies. They don't count. These are our eggs. Let me get one down and show you what the eggs look like.
And it's just powder. It'll
Yeah.
be all powder.
And this is milk. And this is yogurt drops.
All right, Matt. Thanks for dropping by. I really appreciate you coming in.
All right, move, cats. But that gives you a pretty good range of what we have.
Yeah.
And again, this is just the stuff that I store in jars. We have a lot that's in Mylar.
Yeah. Jake, you could even keep an eye out on that Facebook group that I showed you. Sometimes they'll announce, they'll make people aware of any discounts that they're having.
Yeah, they haven't had discounts in a while, and
yeah, everybody's ordering them now.
Yeah, I know at the end of last year there was like a 5-month wait time on them.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're back up to full production or not, but during the in the sickness, I know that people went crazy buying freeze dryers.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, cat.
Yeah, that's probably true. Jake,
That's
probably
the
lucky
side
to get one.
with the canning stuff that was just organized.
Yeah, we added 3 shelves to each side.
Yeah,
and
up the top.
And the sticker price shock was amazing.
Yeah.
So all we needed was the little 3 brackets per shelf, 3 shelves for each one, and it was $200.
That's crazy.
Have we had any issue with the unit?
No.
We have not.
We have not had any issues. Now, I have heard people on the page, on the Facebook page, that have had issues, but we have not had any at all. Our neighbors, I think, had a few little minor things that Harvest Right immediately sent replacement parts for.
Yeah.
But we have not had any issue at all.
Yep. It's a pretty neat machine, and it's pretty cool to have freeze-dried stuff.
Yep.
Oh, here, Marianne giving a tip. You might watch for used ones too if you're looking for one. Some of those that bought and aren't keeping them. Sometimes people get overwhelmed with the filtering all the oil and then taking that pump apart and cleaning it, and they're like, I don't want to do it. Too much for me to do. So sometimes they get it, try it for a little while, and then they sell it. So.
All right. Do you have any more questions for me before I drop off of here?
The Elders Homestead said, good thing you don't live in an earthquake area. Actually, we do, but we haven't had any earthquakes. And one time we did have a shelf that got a little wonky on us, and we did have some jars fall and break.
Yep.
Yeah. Typically, it either works or it doesn't. And
yeah.
So I don't think why people sell them is usually they just don't want to fool with it.
Yeah.
That's typically what happens.
Or they freeze dried a bunch of stuff and they don't have room to keep going, to keep storing stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to drop off of here.
You going to come back out?
No.
Oh. They might have questions. I'm not the expert.
I know it. Well, I can
flip the camera around.
Yeah, I can drop off and flip the camera around and come back.
Or get on your computer too, or whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Lori says, if you ever get better physically, would love to have one. I can think of so many things I could freeze and store. Yeah. And it doesn't take up much weight. That's the beauty of of it. Those shelves, the weight of the canned jars much heavier than the weight of the freeze dried stuff. Um, I wish she was still on here. She could tell us how many dozens of eggs are in one quart jar, because there's a lot. It's pretty amazing uh, how much can be in such a little container. But like I said, we've reconstituted some of it, and it's been really good. I would never know that it wasn't fresh, especially like eggs. So it's really really cool. If you're going camping or hiking, you definitely want to. Let me get you even with me. Here we go. Woo! There she is. Isn't she lovely?
I'm going to try to go online. I got to mute it real quick. There it goes. Now I can see the chat online.
Okay, so how many eggs was in that quart jar?
I don't know. A bunch.
Like more than 2 dozen.
Yeah, the last time we did eggs, I did 24 duck eggs and 24 chicken eggs in one batch, and they probably filled 2 quart jars, something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Trying to adjust everything here, so my chair won't adjust.
The Elders Homestead said Fleet Farms have them too. I'm not familiar with Fleet Farms. She said that's where she got hers. Is that a brand, or do they sell Harvest Right? I'm not sure. Let me go and do a quick Google search. Okay, so they have, it's like a Tractor Supply
store, yeah. Because I think, can you buy them through Tractor Supply? I know there are some retail stores where you can buy them. I'm not sure which ones.
Fleet Farm has a 4-tray black freezer. I'm assuming that's a mid-size, a medium. Harvest Right for $26.95.
Yeah, probably a medium.
And that looks a lot like ours.
Yeah. Lori wants to know if you can freeze dry bacon, like cook it up in abundance and dry it, and sausage. I wouldn't.
Fat content.
Yes, the fat content. You probably could do sausage if you ran it through, hot water and got all the fat off of it. You could probably do sausage, but it still wouldn't be a 25-year shelf life.
No, and that's the problem. It with the fat content, it could go rancid on you.
Yeah.
So, and you don't want that, because then all your efforts would go to waste. And bacon doesn't last that long around here anyway.
Yeah, it's not going to get freeze dried.
The cat's any other questions? While we got the expert in here, have y'all enjoyed this? I mean, we've done some freeze dry Friday showing stuff that we freeze dried, but we never really talked in detail about the whole process. Yeah.
That would be a waste, especially with the price of bacon now.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, that should be a felony. No, we're not going to keep it fresh, cook it, eat it.
Yeah.
Bacon is best served fresh. Well, good deal. So, yeah, it's nothing real scary. It is really a good process to be a part of. So,
now I have freeze dried like Boston butt, and of course that's really fatty, and I tried to remove as much of the fat from it as I could, and I have not reconstituted any of that yet. So I need to do that, because I'm not sure about the shelf life on that.
Yeah. So Jake, when you come up and visit and bring our black chickens,
Our chickens.
yeah, we'll be glad to we'll let you sample just about anything that we have. Let you try it.
Yep.
We'll give you lots of bottles of water too. All right. Anybody else? Any questions? We're over an hour. Lori Carp says she loves bacon, but may get it where it isn't really available. That's right.
I tell
That's
you,
for
the
sure.
prices are crazy.
Ooh, the black chickens are laying again.
Yay.
Cool.
Get some
So,
fertile eggs.
yep. So, Lori, that's why we've got bacon seeds out in the backyard, so that we will have them available, and hopefully, we'll get it set up to where it's easy to deal with them, and hopefully, the best thing about raising animals is when you um, propagate, when they reproduce, right? Because then those offspring are free for the most part. I mean, you're feeding the breeders and everything, and you're not getting any meat directly out of them, but you're getting all those babies out. And the ones that you're not going to be able to process yourself or have too much, you can sell those.
Yeah, we
People
won't
buy,
freeze dry those, Jake.
yeah, eggs or chicks. Yeah, there's a lot of places that you can't raise pigs, so I get that. But I tell you what, um, you get a bunch of chickens, and it's a lot worse than a couple pigs as far as smell goes.
Come on down, Mary. We'll give you some rabbits too.
Yeah. Yep. Bacon seeds. So yeah, it's yep. We'll have to meet up somewhere, Jake, and get those eggs. We'll have to do that. That'll be cool. That'd be worth a trip to Texas. I want to see a lot of Jake's toys anyway. He's got some pretty impressive uh, lead distribution devices.
All right. Well, it's time for me to head out.
All right. So I think that was good. I think it was, if we could do this, not weekly, but maybe every other month or something, have, talk about freeze drying in case anybody else wants to know about it. Maybe have some stuff that we could open up and do a taste test or whatever, and lead accelerators, freedom seed distribution devices. So thanks everybody for showing up. Really appreciate it. I think this was good. And if you have any other questions, just shoot us some comments in this video, and maybe we'll make a video that answers your questions. So we're not, I wouldn't say that we're freeze dryer experts, but we're doing it. So, we all we can do is share our experiences. Right. We can't tell you how to do it, but we can tell you what we do.
Yep.
So that's kind of the whole deal. So thanks everybody for showing up. Don't forget, his way, isn't she pretty? His way is the best way. We'll see you next time. God bless.